God is the source of all the passion I feel and the purpose that drives me. That was my favorite part of today's daily word. That God is the source of all the passion I feel and is the purpose that drives me. It goes right along. I was thinking this morning when our beautiful music was being presented this morning, and there's a lyric that we hear all the time. We hear it every Sunday when our song is sung. I'm only here for God. That's the lyric. I am free in the spirit. I'm only here for God. I know for sure in my own life that it is my knowing that I am only free in the spirit when I am only here for God. When I'm here for any other thing in this world, when I'm here for any material possession, when I'm here for clout and recognition, when I am here for my own purpose of being lifted up and admired, when I am here for applause or recognition, when I am here for a newer, bigger, shinier, this, that, or the other, then I am at cross purposes for why I'm really here. Having the things of this world and desiring them are wonderful. I hope for everyone that you have the desires of your heart, including the material things. However, we are only free in the spirit when we are only here for God. It is up to us to come to the understanding that when we are only here for God, all things shall be added unto us. It is seeking the things first that puts out God, which is the source of all of our good, the source of all of our health, the source of our sanity, the source of our peace, the source of our joy, which is why the scripture was given for us not just to contemplate, but to operate in behalf of. Seek you first the kingdom, queendom, moredom, alldom of God that is within you, and all of the stuff will be added. You'll get all of your stuff. You'll get the money to pay for your rent or for your mortgage. You'll get your car. You'll get your home. You'll get whatever material things you need. But we are instructed not to go after material things as our first thing. Seek you first the kingdom, queendom, moredom, alldom of God and its right use. The fifth principle, the right use, is the activating of all of the possibilities held within the first four principles. Be there for that, and all things will be added. I have found this to be true for myself, that I am free in the spirit when I am giving my spirit to wanting one thing, having one desire above all other desires. I want more God. I want more God. Because like you, I have lived an interesting life where I have had many prayers for material things or many prayers for circumstantial realities to occur that have been answered. And having been given the worldly things that I've asked for, the material things that I've asked for, sometimes having all of what appears to be the riches of the world, and having a significant other by my side, and having friends adore me, and having people appreciate me, there is still a possibility for me to feel an emptiness inside, like something's missing. I've discovered that what was missing in those cases was that I desire God above and beyond all things. I have gotten that dream house and been in that dream house saying, I thought this would do it. I thought this would fill my cup to running over. I thought this would give me all the pep in my step I needed. I thought this would be my cause for unending joy. I have gotten that significant other. And I have had that significant other by my side or cuddled up next to me or spooning with me in a soft, comfortable bed, and still had the feeling, why is it that it seems that something else is missing, that there must be more? And I've come to realize, although it is wonderful to have a honey by your side and someone to spoon with, you must have God and your connection to God and your understanding that you are part of God and God is all of you as the first thing you seek. You know, with the numbers of people in my life right now who are making transition, there are a number of people, and just in our community at Unity in the City recently, just in the last matter of weeks, we have done a celebration of life service for our sister Christine most recently, and a short while before that for our sister Carol, who is one of the principal founders of this ministry. And so we are living in a community where we have seen two of our sisters have completed their work here. They have completed their assignment here. And both of them have burned off their karma as they left here to return to light. It reminds me, and I'm sure it reminds each of us, of the reality or the truth of human mortality. For us to know, I am not here forever. And for us to be inspired by that knowing to live at a deeper way, to know that if we desire to really get everything out of this life that we have been born into it to receive, we must do it quite on purpose. We must focus our attention on the light. We must intake reasons to have joy. And as the Daily Word told us today, we must be passionate about the things that bring us joy and be passionate about the things that increase peace on planet Earth and shine the light throughout the appearance of darkness while we're here. When I was a child growing up in the Pentecostal church during testimony service, they would sing a song during every testimony service. I believe I'll testify while I have a chance, because I may not have a chance anymore. We are here, brothers and sisters, on this Sunday, worshiping together, being in this arena of remembering and deepening our understanding of God together. And we do not know if all of us will be here next Sunday. But while we're here, let us lend ourselves to seeking first the kingdom, queendom, lorddom, alldom of God that is within us, not outside of us, not in the material world, but within us, so that we might rejoice and that we might be glad. And because we, or I will speak for myself, because I am being reminded at such rapid pace that this life that I am living, this life in form that I am living is mortal. I am face to face with my own mortality. I have turned 70 years old. I know that I am on my way. I'm well beyond the peak. I'm on my way to where I will be going home probably sooner than I realize. It's making me treasure each day of life even more deeply. It's making me treasure each breath and each heartbeat that I am blessed with as I live this life more deeply. It's also causing me to examine myself, to see where I focus my intention. What is it that I desire? If I was told, ask and you shall be given, seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened unto you, then I need to look at what am I asking for that I will receive? What am I seeking that I will find? And what door am I knocking on that I will have opened for me and allow me to enter into? I'm looking at my values and clarifying my values. I took a course in my first year of college called Values Clarification. And I was stunned in that class as we looked at the things that we valued, that all of us, the many students in that class, had some things that we valued that were the same and other things that we valued that were unique to us individually. But I was really most blown away with the fact that until we did this class and did an in-depth look at our values, most of us were walking around pretty unconscious about what is it that I value. We can tell what we value by looking at where we give our time, where we give our attention, and what moves us in any direction. Either moves us into a place of greater harmony or moves us to a place of disharmony, that we focus our attention there. I ask myself, Carlos, what do you value? What is your life showing you value? To what do you give your time? To what do you give your energy? To what do you give your meditations? I know that I have been instructed to, and I do it more and more deeply, more and more willingly, and more effectively as time goes on. But it's a practice I want to increase. And that was just a thing that said, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in the sight of who I really am, the Christ of me, the God child of me, the one who was spoken into beingness in first Genesis when God said, let there be Carlos, let there be Esther, let there be Deb, let there be Raleigh, let there be Bob, let there be you all. And then God said, it is good. And so as I think about mortality in this form, I can know that I as a spirit am alive forever, but that I as a human am not forever. It made me think about the two birds that I've spoken about periodically with you, and we will just visit them again. That there are two birds, one sitting on each of your shoulders, one of them singing, you are alive forever. You are alive forever. You are alive forever. How I love to hear that little bird sing that song with that lyric. You are alive forever. It makes me feel so good. It makes me feel so safe. It makes me feel so wonderful to know that I am eternal. You are alive forever, that little bird sings. But the sister bird sitting on my other shoulder is singing a different lyric. One day you will die. One day you will die. One day you will die. I am not welcoming the lyric of that little bird as readily as the one that sings, you are alive forever. The one that is singing, one day you will die. I ask it, why are you singing this lyric to me? I already have another bird singing, I am alive forever. Here you come with an opposite instruction. You have come with a contradiction to the lyric, telling me one day I will die. That little sister bird says, oh, I'm the one singing about your incarnation. I am not singing about your eternal being self. Sister Bird on your other shoulder, she's already singing that lyric to you. You will live forever. You are the ever-living Spirit of God. You are eternal. You are immortal. You are forever. You are always. But I have come to sing a song you need to hear while you are here. One day you will die. I ask that you would use this lyric as an inspiration to be all that you can be and to do all that you can do for the glory of God. I offer this lyric as an invitation for you to remember that you are only free in the spirit that Sister Bird sang about when she sang, "You are alive forever." You're only free in the experience of that lyric. If you do remember Carlos Swain, one day you will die. This incarnation is not forever. And so be inspired to use your time wisely, to focus your intention more consciously, and to be about what really matters. I've also said, while we're alive, there are very, very few things that matter. But the things that do matter really, really, really matter. Love really matters. Forgiveness really matters. Letting go and letting God really matters. Doing the best you can really matters. Keeping your word really matters. Living to be an uplift on the lives of others really matters. Your compassion, your understanding, these things really matter. Those who have these things are rich indeed. I love one of the Proverbs that says, far better to be poor, living in a shanty, in a valley, and have God, than to be rich, living in a mansion on a hill without God. I said God there, but what the proverb says is peace. I said God because I want to know for myself that peace is of God. So better to be completely broke, living in a shack, in a valley, and to have the peace of God in your heart, than to live on a mountain in a mansion with all of the wealth of the world and to have no peace in your heart. I love the two birds, one of them singing to me of my eternal reality, and the other one reminding me, Carlos, you are just here for a dash. What will you do with your dash? I think of the dash often. It's not anything that I get tired of hearing or think I've heard it once and don't need to hear it again. I contemplate it very often. Carlos, you are here for a dash. What are you doing with your dash? Who are you being with your dash? And what are you seeking with your dash? What are you treasuring with your dash? Because I have been told, and so have you, that where our heart is, there is our treasure. We have been told not to make our treasures the things of this world. Enjoy your material wealth, enjoy your material things, but have a treasure that is in things that are eternal. Let your treasure be your moments of peace, your moments of joining, your moments of unity. We have a scripture that says, where there is unity, there is peace. And I've laughed about that over the years, saying if they were talking about unity churches, they might have missed or hit some of the experiences in unity churches. It does not say where there is a unity church, there is peace. It says where there is unity, there is peace. The spirit of unity, the actual spirit of joining, knowing what our treasures are. We've spoken and touched on the two birds. I will touch briefly again on the two wolves, where the Native American shaman, is children gathered around and teaching a very important lesson. As you know, you could tell this story as easily as I, but I will deepen it for us today. The shaman says to the young braves sitting around him, the young people in his charge, that there are two wolves fighting inside of each of us. One of the wolves is fighting for us to truly believe that we are the victim of this world, truly fighting for us to have as our I am statement, I am a victim of the world I see, and to act accordingly. The other wolf is fighting us for us to know I am the light of the world, and I am here not to be afraid of the world, but to bless the world and all her citizens. Both wolves are fighting for what they think is important to fight for. And I have given myself over to the instruction and to the identification of each of those wolves. I have fought to believe in some cases of my life, I have fought adamantly to believe, of course, I am the victim of the things of this world. And I have brought out my list of reasons why. This is why I am the victim of the world. The Course in Miracles says that that's what we all do on occasion, that we hold up the list of how we have been attacked. We hold up the list of how we have been abused. And we say, see my evidence that I am the victim of the world I see. I can make a longer list anytime I feel like it. But one wolf is fighting for me to know I am not the victim of the world I see. I am free. I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. And as you know, and I know, and we all know, when the little kids who were circled around the shaman said, which of these wolves will win? They are both fighting for opposite things, one for you to be weak and one for you to be strong, one for you to be a victim and one for you to know, although I may be victimized, no one can make me a victim. One of them believing that I can be overwhelmed by the shadow, and the other one's knowing its identity as I am the light of the world. I will not hide it under a bushel. I'm gonna let it shine, this little light of mine, everywhere I go. Even when it's hard to do, I'm gonna let it shine. Which will win? The one, Carlos, you feed the most. Well, let me tell you, brothers and sisters, I am one busy rascal feeding myself the word of God. I am one busy rascal feeding myself the messages of the daily word, feeding myself the material of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, feeding myself the words and the message of Butterworth and Goldstein and the many others who have come down the line to prepare a way for me to stand in clear ground so that I can pull out my machete and cut down some more weeds to make some more clear territory for those who will follow me. I love knowing that both wolves are fighting in me and knowing that it's up to me which one I will feed. I love knowing there are two sister birds, each one sitting on a different shoulder, one of them singing a song that reminds me that I am eternal, I am immortal, I am forever, I am always, I am spirit, I am pure conscious awareness of being at one with God and at one with being with every child of God and all aspects of God. And I love that there is the other sister bird reminding me, Carlos Wayne Anderson, if you think the guy that was born on October 16th at 2:22 in the afternoon in Springfield, Illinois, in the year of our Lord, 1951, is going to keep on living on this planet, you are wrong, rascal. You are here but for a dash that allows me to use that dash to fulfill the glad promise of what the other sister bird is singing, to be here knowing if I am immortal, there is nothing to fear. If I am eternal, there is no reason to worry. If I am the wisdom of God, there is no need to stay in confusion. I am reminded, brothers and sisters, that I am not a human being. If I'm a human being, then I rest in that being, and I'm able to get by with doing less. I am able to get by being less. I am able to get by because all I have to say is, well, I'm only human. I'm just a human being human. Brothers and sisters, there are so many people who are human beings, who are resting in the knowing, well, it's only human. It is human to be reactive. It is human to attack those who have attacked me. It is human not to pray for the blessings of those who have wronged me. It's only human. And I'm just a human being. No. I want to be a human becoming. I want to be a human becoming, not a human being. Human beings, they cannot experience the joy, the fullness of the joy of what is possible, the fullness of the joy of how blessed we are, the fullness of the joy of knowing that the universe is conspiring to bless us. I don't want to be a human being human. I want to be a human becoming alive and awake to my divinity. So there is a lot for me to do. If the daily word today is passion, I want to lend all of my passion to my own awakening, to an understanding at a greater level of who I am and whose I am, and what possibilities I have to forward heaven on planet Earth, to experience the peace of God that passes all understanding. Brothers and sisters, I don't want to be like a reed shaking in the wind. Humans, being human, are like reeds shaken in the wind. If a strong wind comes, they bow over and they snap. I want to be like a tree planted by the living waters that can't be moved, so that no matter what happens, no matter who dies, no matter who leaves, no matter what the law gets passed or doesn't get passed, no matter what comes down the pike, no matter what the lawyer says, no matter what the doctor says, for some reason, I am still standing fast like a tree planted in the waters that cannot be moved, because I am a human becoming more aware of what I really am. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. I am the love of God. I am the light of God. Wow. I am having a human experience, yes, but don't let my human experience convince me that I am a human being. Oh no, I was not born to be a human being. I was born to be a human becoming all that I really am, becoming the power and light and love and presence of the Almighty One, becoming God made flesh, becoming the Eternal One, having this temporal experience called the incarnation of Carlos Wayne Anderson. And while I'm here, I can do whatever I want to do. No shame, no blame. There's no eternal law against me trying out whatever I want to try out. Any place in consciousness I choose, I can try it on for size and see how it fits me and how it works for me. I can react or I can respond. No shame, no blame. When I am angry, no shame, no blame. When I feel grieving, no shame, no blame. When I want to attack, no shame, no blame. Whatever I do, I just live in the spirit and in the energy of that. And so I've had times, brothers and sisters, where I have gone on the attack. Nothing wrong with me going on the attack. I'm a child of God experiencing what it experiences, what it feels like to go on the attack. Well, what I felt like was that it felt icky. When I went on the attack, I realized that I was attacking something in me. I was attacking my own peace. I was attacking my own joy. I was attacking my own sense of all is well because all is God. I ask my congregations often to look for the good news, to look for the news that expresses the power of choice and what our power of choice can provide for us. This past week, I found in the news a great example of what I preach. And I'm sure that most of you, if not all of you, have also already received this piece of information. I will just read 2 short paragraphs out of our local newspaper, but the news is international news, so it got into your newspaper as well, onto your computer as well, onto whatever your sources of media are as well. This is 2 different responses to an event that I will be reading, and they inspired me this week to look even more closely at how I want to live my life, what I want to hold on to, and how I want to be a more bright diamond in the necklace of our Creator. This article comes, and I'm sure you know, that on on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 3 years ago in 2018, we know that there was a young man who went into the school that he had gone to a year before, and he killed 17 people and critically injured 17 others. He is in court now. The families of all of the young students who were killed and those who were injured are in the courtroom itself or are following on a screen that they are allowed to view. This young man acknowledges that he is guilty. This young man then speaks to the families of the students who he killed on purpose for no reason. And many of those gathered are students who did not die, who made it through their injuries. He says to the judge, "I'm sorry for what I did, and I don't know why I did it, but I do wish it was up to the victims here to themselves decide whether I go to life imprisonment or whether I am put to death. I wish it was up to the people I directly affected to make the decision on what should happen to me." I want to tell you, I know I've already told some of you, I forget who's been with me long enough. I know I told this back at one of the first schools we were in, that when I was 18 years old, I wanted a guy hurt really bad. My sister was in an abusive relationship that the entire family and all of her friends were trying to get her out of. And we thought we had gotten her out of it. She put a no trespass warrant out on this guy. Well, he didn't stay away from her. He stayed away from her for a couple of months. The next thing we knew, he had broken into her house with this no trespass warrant on. He broke into her house one night and he beat her to a pulp and then viciously raped her. What I didn't know I was going to be your minister in those days. I didn't know I was going to be anybody's minister in those days. what I did was that I knew through some of my show, but I said when I was 19, I'm sorry, I was 24. I had been in show business and I had been around some mafia people in New York and in Rhode Island, and they loved me. I was the only person of color that they allowed into their homes or into their clubs. They really loved me. Well, I knew what they did, and I actually called someone and put a word out. And I think my words at the time were, I don't want you to kill him, but I want you to make him wish he were dead. I, who ended up becoming one of your ministers, at that time, I put a contract out on a man who beat my sister to a pulp and viciously raped her. Okay, that's to tell you who I am, who I was, and what I did. And now I'll go back to this currently. In this case, this man said, I have killed your children. I have tried to kill some of you. I wish it were up to you to decide what happens to me. After his statement, parents scoffed at Cruz's statement as they left the courtroom, saying it seemed self-serving and aimed at eliciting unearned sympathy. Jenna Hoyer, whose 15-year-old son, Luke, died in the shooting, saw it as part of the defense's strategy, quote unquote, to keep a violent, evil person off death row, a person who deserved to die. Well, I've already told you what I did when I was 24. And by the way, I did call it off. I came to Sanity 2 days after making that phone call. And when the two gentlemen arrived in this little town of Amherst that I lived in from Rhode Island, I called it off. I called it off, and then I had to do a lot of extra income earning work to pay them for what I had asked them to do. But thank God, I will never, ever, ever stop thanking God that I awakened and came to myself. And when they showed up and got in my face, and I realized I had them there to quote unquote, do not kill him, but do make him wish he were dead. Wow, I look back on that now and I go, that was an entirely different person, which lets me know I have been born again. But when I read this week, these parents' reaction, I understood. I truly understood. Why would not he be put to death? He has killed my bright boy. He has killed my bright girl. I don't have my son. I don't have my daughter. Some of the others in there, I barely survived. I barely survived. And now he's asking to live. If it were up to me, well, God always sends Carlos who Carlos needs to inspire Carlos to practice more what he preaches. Right after the paragraph that I just read you, where the parents were saying he is simply trying to elicit some sort of compassion, it is simply a strategy for us to keep a violent, evil person off death row. Then this follows. Anthony Borges, a former Stoneham Douglas student who was shot 5 times and severely wounded, told the reporters after the hearing that he himself accepted this young man's apology. He also noted it was not up to him to decide the confessed murderer's fate. Quote, he made a decision to shoot up the school, Borges said. Quote, I am not God to make the decision to kill him or not. That's not my decision. My decision is to be a better person and to change the world for every kid. I don't want this to ever happen to anybody again. It hurts. It hurts. It really hurts. So I am just going to keep going. I needed to read this article. I needed to know that I have lived in the consciousness headspace of those parents who said, it's a gimmick, it's a ruse, why should he live? And I'm also grateful that God has awakened me from my human beingness to become like a little boy, a little young teenager named Anthony Borges. I don't want it to be up to me. I leave it to God. What I'm going to do with it is to be a better person, to make this world a better place, to make it safer, because violence hurts. It hurts. It really hurts. I don't want to become violent because someone has been violent against me or my sister or my people. I want to be a better person, to live a better life, to make this world a safer place. Because being anything less than like God hurts. It hurts. It really hurts. So I believe I'm going to keeping on. Just a dash. Let me be more of who I really am. In this dash, let me ask for more God and to be here, only here for God. Let me seek to be only here for God, that I might find it. And let me knock on the door to peace and enter in with all of you along with me. And with those who have hurt me, they're with me. Let me do this, that I might be happy, that I might live this little dash in a way that is significant, in a way that matters, in a way that forwards God's plan for peace on earth and goodwill toward everybody. So be it. So I must let it be. Amen.